Let's talk about everybody's favorite deep sea guy, the blobfish. So, this is the image of the blobfish that everybody is super familiar with. We know what it looks like because it's ugly as all hell, but in a kind of vaguely cute way that has gotten very popular. Or, this is not how they look like almost always. This one is unfortunately very dead, and this is what happens when they come up to the surface. This is what a pressurized blobfish looks like. It looks like pretty much a normal fish. It doesn't look all pink and depressed. So, blobfish are adapted to living in the deep, dark parts of the ocean. They're most commonly found around like Australia, New Zealand, Oceania, that area, and they're adapted for depths between approximately 2,000 and 4,000 feet under the surface, which is very deep and has a very different pressure from the surface. So it is. Can I help you? Fucking chickens. It has a very different pressure and environment from anywhere, and it is not a very easy place to live in, so these guys have some very interesting adaptations to live there. To start off with, they do not have swim bladders, which is an organ in most other fish that help them stay buoyant in the water, so helps them go up and down within the water column, just to kind of stay where they're supposed to be. These guys don't have that, so in order to stay buoyant and be able to, fuck off. In order to, float, they have a very gelatinous body that is actually less dense than water, and so that jelly-like body is what helps them stay buoyant without a swim bladder. And then the deep pressure of where they live helps them stay in a fish shape. But when they come up to the surface, if they die and float up, or if they get caught in a trawler net, pressure is a lot lower on the surface, so the jelly-like body just kind of melts. They're not very. They don't have that much structure holding them together. It's just kind of goop. They also have a very few muscles, so they do have some muscles and can move themselves forwards and up and down, but most of the time they just kind of float and are relatively filter feeders. They're not like true filter feeders, but they just kind of float and go forwards, and whatever enters their mouth, they eat, kind of like baleen whales do. So when they come up to the surface after getting caught, they are depressurized and their jelliness just flattens out, and they look like this, which is very unfortunate for them. Now, they are bony fish. They're in the Osteichthyes family or group, whatever. So they do have bones, but they're kind of soft and don't really do much for structure. They're just kind of there for the few muscles they do have to attach and kind of keep them in a relative fish shape. So yeah, while blobfish are very well adapted to the area that they live in, they are not well adapted to the surface areas, so we haven't seen them very often at pressure, so we mostly only know what they look like when they come to the surface when they're all melted. So it isn't really that fair of us to name the blobfish after what they look like when they're dead in an environment they don't belong in, because it's just a guy. He's not even that weird comparatively to other deep sea fish.